When I was 18, I found a troubled girl nobody seemed to want. I tried for a long time, but I could never seem to break through her cold exterior. Then her childhood friend showed up, and I realized she did have a gentle side. It just wasn't for me. The day I let her go, I lied. "I'll be right back," I said. Then I never came back. 7 years later, we met again on a film set, now an award-winning actress. She grabbed me. "Be right back." "Where the hell did you go?" My palms were sweating nervously. The newly crowned Best Actress, Sophia, was standing just 15 feet behind me. If I turned around, I'd run right into her. The assistant director said, "Miss Sophia, the next scene is a reunion with an ex. You need to show longing and reluctance to part." Sophia let out a soft scoff. "Longing?" the AD asked. "You don't think that's right? He's an ex-boyfriend. What's there to long for?" Her voice was the same as ever, cool and indifferent. When we were 18, she used that same tone, sometimes soft, sometimes sharp, to call my name Ethan. The discussion behind me continued. I didn't catch what the AD said next, but Sophia's detached voice cut clearly through the air. "My ex already forgotten. I'm not the type to go back for seconds." As the seconds in question, I had no intention of revealing myself. Finish the shoot. Go our separate ways. That was the plan. Just as I was thinking this, a colleague suddenly shouted my name loudly. "Ethan, did you find the props?" Silence fell behind me. I grabbed the props and hurried away. Sophia didn't follow. Maybe she hadn't heard. Or maybe she heard but didn't care. While setting up the studio, I told my colleague, "Call me Ethan next time. Not by my nickname." "Why?" "Your nickname sounds nice. Ethan sounds more professional." My colleague laughed, buying the excuse. This was my first job as an assistant director. I knew before joining the crew that Sophia was the lead actress. She was the daughter of celebrities, backed by half the industry's resources, and on top of that, a genuinely talented actress who'd won Best Actress by 25. And I, unfortunately, was her first love. I had hesitated about taking the job. Ultimately, I didn't want to pass up such a great opportunity, so I came. I swore to myself I wouldn't let her recognize me. Otherwise, I'd be finished because 7 years ago, our breakup was messy. In the letter, I wrote, "I knew you were from a famous family all along. I only got close to you to dig up dirt on them. Honestly, I don't like troubled girls at all. I prefer gentle ones. Let's not see each other again. Bye." The more casual the words, the more miserably I'd fled. I didn't know how Sophia felt after reading that letter, but she was the type to hold a grudge. If she caught me, my career could be ruined. A colleague said, "Sophia looks even more beautiful in person than on TV. Those genes are incredible." Well, think about who her parents are, former Best Actor and Best Actress winners. Even without trying, she'd look better than average people. I love Sophia's aura. So refined and cultured. Wow, she must have been the most popular girl in school, right? I almost choked. Sophia, the most popular girl? Dead wrong. Not only was she not the campus belle, she was the notorious tough girl everyone avoided. I could never forget the first time I saw her. She had just finished a fight with a group of girls, covered in bruises. It was pouring rain. Pedestrians hurried past, but she sat motionless by the roadside like she was dead. Only when I approached did she look up and say, "Get lost." Her tone then was like a rabid dog, ready to tear me apart in the next second. But I didn't get lost. Instead, I held an umbrella over her head. That was the beginning of Sophia and me. I shook my head, pushing the memories away. The studio was too noisy, so I escaped to the stairwell. As soon as I pushed the door open, the smell of tobacco hit me. Sophia stood in the darkness, a tiny red ember glowing at her fingertips. She looked at me coldly, just like back then. The stairwell was dark and quiet. I lowered my head to leave, but Sophia stopped me. "What's your job here?" "Assistant director. Just graduated." "Yeah, to be director's assistant right after graduation. You must be quite capable." "Thank you, Miss Sophia." "How old are you?" 25. She chuckled softly, lazily. "We're the same age, and you're calling me Mississippi. The assistant director calls you Miss too, and he's 43. Then say it again." "Me?" I forced myself. "Miss Sophia." In the darkness, I couldn't see clearly. But did Sophia's lips curl into a smile? It was the kind of smile devoid of any emotion. Cold. My hair stood on end. Yet I held on to a sliver of hope that she hadn't recognized me. Compared to 7 years ago, I looked like a completely different person. From a scrawny, sallow kid, I'd grown into someone people might call handsome. Even my relatives barely recognized me, let alone now in the dark. "Miss Sophia, please rest. I'll head back now." "Wait," she stopped me again. "What's your name?" Sophia asked abruptly. "Ethan. Ever used any other names?" "No." Sophia fell silent. A cold sweat broke out on my back. My name used to be Ethan, but I changed my first name legally later. She had lied to me back then. Now I was lying to her again. It felt like we were even. In the summer after sophomore year of high school, I found Sophia on a street corner. She said she had nowhere to go and no family. I believed her. I thought she was like me, a poor kid nobody wanted. When I was little, after my mom and dad divorced, they both remarried and had new sons. Neither wanted me, so I was sent to live in my aunt's basement. I was always well-behaved growing up because being good men at least I get fed. Sophia and I were complete opposites. She smoked, fought, and did everything wrong. I was introverted and quiet, only caring about my studies. In junior year, Sophia and I ended up in the same class. Nobody knew what her family did. There were even rumors she was an orphan with no home. At school, we acted like strangers, but nobody knew that every night Sophia would tap on my basement window. I cleared a small space on the floor for her to make a makeshift bed. The next morning, before my aunt's family woke up, she would leave early as if she'd never been there. Sophia often skipped class and always seemed to be getting hurt. Each time I treated her wounds, she'd say, "Ethan, can you be gentler? Call me by my first name." "Okay, Ethan." Ethan was my nickname given by my late grandmother. I preferred it over my legal name because Sophia often came to sleep on my floor. I subconsciously felt she was even more pitiful than me. It also created an illusion. When I forgot my textbook and was questioned by the teacher, Sophia walked from the back row to the front and tossed her book onto my desk. Although I was a boy, I was a late bloomer and smaller than others. Kids from other classes often bullied me. Whenever I felt wronged and didn't know how to argue back, Sophia would stand in front of me, saying I was under her protection. I mistakenly thought we shared a mutual understanding, a bond forged in hardship. Only later did I understand there was no such thing. Sophia came from a famous family with countless properties and sports cars. One of her shoes could buy my clothes for an entire season. She was just using me to provoke her family. When I find out, probably the day Ryan showed up, my thoughts were interrupted. Back in the studio, a cup of bubble tea was thrust into my hand. My colleague said, "Ryan's visiting the set again. Bought bubble tea for everyone. Look quick." The handsome rich guy and the award-winning actress. They looked perfect together. I looked towards the distance. Sophia had her head tilted, listening to Ryan speak beside her. Like everyone else, I couldn't tear my eyes away from the beautiful scene. Suddenly, Sophia seemed to sense something. She looked over in my direction. I immediately lowered my head. When I looked up again, Sophia wasn't looking at me. It seemed like it was just my imagination. Ryan was still talking. "Sophia, after filming wraps, come with me to the Paris fashion show." His tone and cadence were exactly the same as 7 years ago. I couldn't help but get lost in thought. In high school, Sophia and I maintained a purely platonic relationship until after the college entrance exams. That summer, Sophia and I got together, holding hands, hugging our first kiss. Sophia wasn't passionate, nor did she push me away, but she still couldn't manage a single gentle word. Yet in some ways, she was a decent girlfriend. For instance, she always came when called, giving me face. Sophia never introduced me to her friends. Once, I went to the pool hall to find her, intending to surprise her, but she put on a stern face, annoyed, saying, "Don't come here anymore." I didn't think much of it then, just assumed it was her personality until Ryan appeared. He wore an expensive suit, his hair perfectly styled, like a beam of light entering my world. "Sophia, what are you doing here?" "I just bought a Ferrari. Let me take you for a spin." The word Ferrari almost made me stumble. Ryan looked at me, eyes wide. "Sophia, who is this?" "Hello, I'm Sophia's boyfriend." "Huh? Are you kidding me? How could Sophia possibly fall for you? I'm her future boyfriend. Our families have an understanding. Sophia's face darkened as she pushed Ryan out. Don't listen to him. I never agreed to any understanding. Her explanation felt weak. Later, Sophia's parents approached me, and I learned she was the child of celebrities, not just ordinary celebrities. Her family practically controlled half the entertainment industry. Sophia didn't get along with her parents. She deliberately transferred from a prestigious private school to a regular public high school and deliberately stayed away from home. Her parents were always away, paying little attention to their daughter, completely unaware of what she was up to daily. At the end of our conversation that day, her father told me, "Ethan, you might not know this, but Sophia, despite being a girl, is very rebellious. Being with you is her way of deliberately angering us. She doesn't genuinely like you. She's done things like this before. If you don't believe me, just watch how she is with Ryan. She likes Ryan. They've known each other since childhood, and she hasn't realized her own feelings yet. Ethan, you and I are not from the same world." It felt like being struck by lightning. Afterward, I discovered her dad hadn't lied. Although she verbally expressed annoyance towards him, Sophia was very patient with Ryan. Once, Ryan was mocking me for being poor 1 second, and the next, when Sophia appeared, he put on a wronged face. Sophia, Ethan just called a bunch of thugs to beat me up. Sophia suddenly became anxious. Ethan, I told you not to mess with him. In that moment, I understood. Sophia wasn't incapable of warmth. She just didn't bloom for me. At the end of August, I accepted Sophia's parents' offer. With their financial support, I went abroad to study. Given my circumstances, this was likely my only chance to study overseas. The day I left, I told Sophia I wanted to buy some chocolate. Sophia habitually took out her wallet for the most expensive kind. I didn't take it. "I don't need yours. I'll be right back." "Okay, I'll wait for you." Then I never returned. Following Sophia's parents' instructions, I left a damning breakup letter to completely extinguish any hope she might have had. This 3-month limited first love quietly faded with the arrival of autumn. I changed my name and cut ties with all my high school classmates. I used to be quite invisible back then, often bullied by classmates. I cherished the hard-won opportunity to study, learn to work out, and improve my style. With my name and appearance changed, plus Sophia's parents intentionally concealing things, Sophia couldn't find me. In her eyes, I might as well have been dead. But I heard plenty about Sophia. After I left, she decided to repeat a year of high school and got into a top film school like USC. She debuted during college. Her career path was smooth sailing. In front of the camera, she was gentle and elegant, her captivating smile charming fans. There was no trace of the girl she used to be. People change. I thought I changed too. After a day's work, I was exhausted and sore all over, but my colleague seemed energized. "Wow, this picture is stunning." "What?" "Sophia's new candid photo. It's trending." I craned my neck to look. A snapshot had sparked heated discussion. Sophia's character in the scene bumps into her ex. Look at her eyes. It's incredible. Sophia brought the female lead to life. In the photo, Sophia gazed quietly ahead. Her posture was elegant, but her eyes burned with a red flame, wild and unrestrained. What startled me more was at the edge of the photo where her gaze landed, a blurred figure. It was me. The next day, filming continued. The male lead had an accident and needed to go to the hospital. This was a crucial scene between the male and female leads. Delays were unacceptable. The director was anxious and finally decided to find a stand-in first to film Sophia's shots. Sophia insisted on choosing the stand-in herself. I stood at the outermost edge of the crowd. Sophia's gaze landed squarely on me. Him. I was stunned. The director had no objections and urged me to quickly change into the male lead's costume. I only needed to show my back, but to prevent continuity errors, the makeup artist still put makeup on me. When I stood before Sophia, she seemed momentarily dazed. I didn't dare meet her eyes. Sophia asked, "Are you nervous?" "I've never acted before." "You don't need to act. Just listen." After a pause, she added, "Relax. If you're tense, your body will be stiff and it won't look natural on camera." "Okay, You can take deep breaths to regulate. Thank you, Miss Sophia. The camera will be on me. Just listen to my lines. Also, Sophia didn't continue. Also what? I looked up at her. Also, where's my chocolate? Sophia enunciated each word, a wildness in her eyes that matched her younger self. She slowly extended her hand. Ethan, it's been 7 years. You should have bought it by now, right? It was over. That was my first thought. Sophia had probably recognized me long ago. Coincidentally, this scene was also the female lead's heartfelt confession to the male lead after a long separation. For a moment, I thought those were the words she wanted to say to me. But how could that be? The real Sophia had never said anything romantic to me. After filming, the director gave me a thumbs up. Ethan, you have a real talent for acting. Your expression just now was spot on. Me? Could it be that we were both just being ourselves? For the next few scenes, Sophia specifically requested me to work with her. My head was spinning. Sophia had too many interests tied to her. Even the director couldn't afford to offend her. Appointing me now wasn't this revenge. I was promoted from assistant to assistant director. Sophia's exclusive AD. I had to revolve around her 18 hours a day. But my duties went beyond an AD. For example, when heavy props needed moving, I had just rolled up my sleeves when Sophia grabbed me. Give me a bubble tea. Not just bubble tea. She ordered lots of snacks, too. Delivery could have brought them, but she insisted I fetch them personally. That said, my colleagues envied me for getting paid to stroll around outside. When I brought the snacks back, Sophia wouldn't eat them. Don't feel like it anymore. Take them away. Working under Sophia like this for a week, I actually gained weight. Over time, even colleagues got curious. Is she deliberately buying snacks for you? Impossible. But she's really lenient with you, a colleague said. Sophia is very strict. Her company invested in this film, too. She criticized the previous ads, but she's never reprimanded you. That's not true, I denied flatly. It would be good enough if she didn't torture me. The gossip on set reached Ryan's ears. Ryan rushed over. You're Sophia's new assistant. I couldn't help correcting him. Assistant director. So young. Can you handle a job? Mr. Ryan, please don't judge a book by its cover. Ryan stared at me for a long moment. Have I seen you somewhere before? You're probably mistaken. I had no interest in catching up with the rich kid and continued organizing the work plan. Ryan snorted. I've seen plenty of people like you on film crews. Me? Don't think just because Sophia values you, you have a chance to climb up. I advise you to know your place, or you'll end up heartbroken. What are you talking about? You look a bit like Sophia's ex-boyfriend. Ryan finished speaking, waiting for my reaction. He thought I'd be shocked and upset, realizing I was being treated as a substitute. But I looked at him puzzled. So, she's using you as a substitute because she values you, not because she particularly appreciates you. Sophia hates that man, so don't get too cocky. I put down my work and looked at him with a smile. If she hates him, why look for a substitute? That's contradictory, Mr. Ryan. Ryan was speechless. After he left, my mind couldn't settle. Sophia hated me, just as I thought. That evening, Sophia suddenly messaged me asking me to bring her medicine. Based on the principle that the lead actress shouldn't be offended, I bought the medicine and delivered it. I thought Sophia was just messing with me, but she was genuinely sick, beads of sweat rolling down her forehead. What's wrong? I asked. Stomachache. Where's your assistant? Went into the city. Can't make it back. Strange. Sophia didn't used to have stomach problems. I asked your stomach. What happened? The year I repeated high school, I didn't eat properly. Why didn't you eat? No one saved food for me. She looked at me, eyelids half closed. This reminded me of the past. When Sophia came to sleep on my floor, I always left some food for her. By the time I finished my homework, she would have eaten everything cleanly. What about the cafeteria? It tasted bad. Still the same stubborn temper. I saw a table full of dishes, still steaming. Sophia said, just arrived. Stomach hurts too much to eat. What a waste. Eating the cruise box meals every day. I was starving for real food. You eat it, she said casually. It'll be wasted anyway. If you don't eat it, help me throw it out. I broke apart disposable chopsticks and sat down at the table. I ate quietly. The room was very quiet, too. I thought Sophia had fallen asleep. When I turned my head, she was watching me, a smile playing on her lips. As soon as our eyes met, her smile vanished. She returned to her usual world, owes me, look unchanged. We remained silent as usual, not speaking to each other. Only when I was leaving did Sophia speak. Ethan, Ryan, and I have absolutely no relationship. Not in the past, not now, and not in the future. Oh, I nodded politely. But Miss Sophia, I don't care anymore. My words made Sophia's face darken for several days. Whatever. Filming was almost over anyway. But just a few days before wrapping up, a significant accident occurred. A scene on a boat on a windy day. The sound recordist went to the restroom, so I temporarily took over his job. Standing at the edge of the deck, holding a boom mic longer than I was tall, I felt a bit unsteady, swaying. A strong gust of wind blew. I lost my balance and fell off the boat. Below was the lake, and I couldn't swim. In the chaos, I heard a sharp cry. Ethan! Sophia jumped straight down, too. She grabbed me tightly as if she would never let go. After that, I remembered nothing. I woke up in an unfamiliar room. There was a handwritten note by the bed. This is my place, not far from the filming base. I called in sick for you to rest for a few days. If you need clothes, there's some in the walk-in closet. Just had someone buy men's clothes. The handwriting was clearly Sophia's. Many actors have properties near filming locations. Sophia was no exception. I remembered reading gossip that she mostly stayed here. The house was very clean. I entered the walk-in closet, and the first thing that caught my eye was a black umbrella. It was the one I had held for Sophia years ago. The umbrella was old, not of good quality, yet it was placed right in the center of the closet. I suddenly remembered that day of pouring rain. I used this umbrella to shield her from the storm. Sophia kept trying to shoo me away. I didn't know where I got the courage, but I pulled up her sleeve to check her wounds. Yui wanted to curse, but held back. It's okay. No need to go to the hospital. I thrust the umbrella into her hand. You wait here. I'll go buy medicine. Be right back. Just get lost. She was annoyed. 10 minutes later, I returned having bought medicine and food. The rain had soaked me through. She looked at me silently. From that day on, Sophia never said another harsh word to me. Only later did I learn she was actually shocked that day. No one had ever returned for her in her life. I was the first. The memory ended. I found a men's clothes and slowly changed. Before I had my shirt on, the closet doors suddenly opened. Sophia and I stared at each other, a bit awkward. Sophia quickly backed out. After I was dressed, she said, "Why were you so quiet? I thought you left again." I said, "Don't be fierce." Sophia paused, her anger dissipating completely. This phrase used to work well. Whenever Sophia lost her temper, I would calmly ask, "Don't be fierce," and she would immediately back down. Unexpectedly, it still worked. I continued, "I haven't even blamed you yet. Why didn't you knock before entering the closet? I didn't know you were in there." Her face flushed red. "I didn't see anything really. If you're upset, I can apologize." "I'm sorry. I had noticed before that although Sophia had a stubborn and tough personality, she was surprisingly innocent about certain things." "It's okay." I felt a bit tired and said without thinking, "It's not like you haven't seen it before." After saying it, I immediately felt it was inappropriate. Sure enough, Sophia pursed her lips, redness spreading from her face to her neck. I changed the subject. "You don't have scenes today?" "Finished filming. I'll go make some kanji. Take your medicine later." Due to falling into the water, I had caught a bit of a cold. When Sophia brought the kanji, she was still wearing an apron. I couldn't help but look at her a bit longer. "You look gentle wearing an apron." "What did you say?" I said, "Thank you." Sophia's eyes lit up as if she'd received praise, but her tone was still fierce. "Finish all the food. No wasting. What else do you want to eat? I can reluctantly make it for you." "No need to trouble yourself. You could go about your business. I don't have scenes tomorrow morning. I won't go back to the set tonight. I have time to prepare food." I hesitated. "So, you're sleeping here?" "Yeah. I'll move to the guest room. There's no extra bedding in the guest room." "You're sick? Just lie in bed. Don't move around." Sophia pointed to the floor. "Same old way. I'll sleep on the floor." In the middle of the night, my fever returned. Sophia barely slept, changing the towel on my forehead periodically. When delirious with fever, hallucinations are common. In a daze, I thought I was back in that small basement. Sophia slept on the floor, keeping a distance of several meters as if to avoid suspicion. A table separated us. Looking over, I could only see her thin back. Once, Sophia was sick but endured it without saying anything. I sensed something was wrong in the middle of the night and got up to check her forehead. Very hot. I found fever medicine and wiped her face repeatedly. Sophia reached out and suddenly grabbed my hand. She held on for a long time, as if afraid I would leave. Only when she fell asleep did she let go. That was the closest contact she and I had before graduation. Most of the time, we were like strangers passing each other by at school. I spent the night in a daze. When I woke up the next day, Sophia was already gone. She had been called back unexpectedly for reshoots. But on the table, there was food she had prepared. In the center, a bar of chocolate, the most expensive kind. Halfway through my meal, someone entered. I thought Sophia had returned, but it was a strange man. I recognized him, Sophia's agent, also her good friend. The agent stared at me blankly. Well, Sophia's hiding a pretty boy now. I tried my best to explain that I was just an assistant director from the crew. The agent asked my name. I said, "You could just call me Ethan." He almost jumped up in surprise. "Ethan? You're Ethan? What's wrong?" He looked at me with dawning realization. "So you're Ethan?" Seeing my confusion, he said, "Sophia was looking for you like crazy before me. Couldn't find you. She just gave up on herself. Wouldn't eat or sleep. Hit rock bottom for a while. TK. The agent smiled kindly. "It's good now she found you. She can finally be at peace. 7 years, she doesn't have to torture herself anymore." "You must be joking," I said. "We only dated for 3 months. It wasn't that unforgettable." "How could it not be? Didn't you know Sophia became an actress partly because of you?" I froze. Because of her parents? She hated the acting profession since she was little. Her family wanted her to be a child star, but she refused. But right after breaking up with you, she suddenly said she wanted to be an actress. She said it was because you liked movies, and being an actress meant she could stand in the brightest, highest place so you could see her. There was indeed something like that. One night, I couldn't sleep and struck up a conversation with Sophia. "Sophia, are you asleep?" "No. I watched a movie today, The Shawshank Redemption. It was really good." "Not interested. I want to make movies someday, too." "But that must cost a lot, right?" "Too bad I don't have money." "Doesn't cost much." "Do it." I thought she didn't understand anything. Just daydreaming. So, I didn't say more. Turns out she remembered everything. The agent sighed with emotion. "You, in just 3 months, made her remember you for a lifetime." In the afternoon, Sophia returned. She asked the agent, "What are you doing here?" "Filming's wrapping up. Came to tidy up a bit." "No need. You can go. Also, I'm taking a break for a while. Don't schedule any appearances. TSK. Prioritizing romance over friendship. Remember when you couldn't find him and cried your eyes out in front of me?" Sophia awkwardly cut him off. "Don't say these things in front of my boyfriend." I corrected. "Ex-boyfriend. You never broke up with me in person, so it doesn't count." I wrote a letter. Just a letter. I threw it away after reading it. Who knows if you even wrote it yourself? The agent saw the situation and slipped away. "Me? Sophia? Weren't you angry seeing that letter?" I said I wanted to dig up dirt on you. Sophia smiled. "You wouldn't dare. Besides, whether you exposed anything or not, couldn't I check the news myself?" I was speechless. Sophia went to wash fruit. I continued. "A breakup only needs one person's consent. Whether you accept it or not, we ended things long ago." Her body stiffened. "Then I'll pursue you." "It's useless." "Sophia, are you angry with me?" She seemed uneasy. "Because I lied to you, didn't tell you about my background. Or because of Ryan, I didn't explain things clearly in time. All of the above and none of the above." "Sophia, we're not from the same world. Don't force it." The room was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. After what felt like a long time, Sophia's eyes were bloodshot, and she said, sounding wronged, "I will force it." I didn't take Sophia's words to heart. After filming wrapped, I went back to my hometown. My aunt's old house was being demolished, and she asked me to help deal with the furniture. Although my aunt favored her own children in the past, she did raise me, and I wouldn't be ungrateful. On the way back, I passed my old high school. The buildings had been renovated a few years ago and looked very different. I stood at the entrance for a while. Then someone called out to me, "Hey, you're that guy? I remember you." A woman looking about my age came out of the janitor's room. "You went to this school?" "I remember. You were in the same class as Sophia, right?" I nodded. "And you are?" "I used to argue with Sophia, by the way. Why are you alone today?" "Where's Sophia? Didn't she always follow you around?" I paused. "Follow me around?" "Yeah. Every day after evening study hall, Sophia would follow behind you, watch you walk home." "You didn't know? Could that be true?" Seeing my disbelief, the woman said the craziest time was when we scheduled a fight. Midway, she suddenly called a halt. Said class was over. Needed to go back to school. I thought it was bizarre her going back to school. So I followed her, curious, you know. Turns out she waited and waited at the gate, waited for you to come out, followed behind you until you got home, then came to find me. Later I found out she was afraid the people she offended would target you. So, she wanted to protect you. "Look," the woman pointed to a sycamore tree in the corner. She stood right there waiting. 17-year-old Sophia liked to wear black, always blending into the night. A gust of wind blew. It felt as if she was standing right there, hiding her starlight. My aunt called, urging me. When I arrived, they were clearing out the basement. The bed I slept on, the desk I used, were brought out one by one. My aunt said, "Ethan, I found something. Come quick." She pointed to a dark corner of the floor. Scratched all over was my name. "The girl carved it, right?" My aunt said, "The one who's a star now?" I was surprised. "How did you know?" "Oh, she came looking for me." "When? Do you remember?" "I found cigarette butts here once and gave you a lecture." "I remember. You were so stubborn then. I don't even want to talk about it. You refused to tell the truth, insisting you smoked them. But I knew you weren't that kind of kid." Recalling the past, my aunt seemed nostalgic. "The day I scolded you, that girl, she was right outside the window, saw everything. Later, she found me privately, knelt before me, admitted her mistake, and begged me not to blame you." I clutched my shirt. My breathing slowed. I was afraid she'd be a bad influence on you. So, I firmly forbade her from sleeping on the floor here again. So that's what happened. Near the end of junior year, Sophia stopped coming over. She told me she found a place to stay. Actually, she was just afraid of affecting me. My fingertips traced the marks on the floor. This was where Sophia used to sleep. They signified sleepless nights when Sophia remained silent, yet called my name in her heart thousands upon thousands of times. The day before the demolition, I walked from the school gate back to my aunt's house again. This familiar path was covered by dense sycamore trees. Walking to the end, I saw the small basement window. As if by telepathy, I turned around. Sophia, wearing a mask, stood across the street. 20 minutes later, we sat down in the restaurant we used to frequent. Since filming ended, I hadn't answered her calls. Unexpectedly, she still found me. Next to the restaurant was that old pool hall. Watching people come and go, I suddenly wanted an answer. "Sophia, that summer, I came here looking for you." "Yeah, you were very impatient then. You told me to leave. Did you know I was really hurt?" Sophia looked momentarily stunned. "I wasn't impatient, Ethan. I was just scared and anxious then." "Scared of what?" "That pool hall wasn't a good place, and the people I met that day weren't good either. Those girls were always trying to scheme against me. When you showed up, I was terrified, really afraid they'd target you." Sophia frowned, recalling carefully. "I'm sorry, Ethan. I was too nervous. I caused a misunderstanding." Just then, the owner called our number. I asked Sophia to grab a bottle of water while she was up. In the moment she left, several women surrounded me. "Hey, handsome, can I get your number? Is it your girlfriend? Why does she wear a mask while eating? Is she sick?" I looked at them coldly. "Get lost." "Whoa, got an attitude. You know who runs this area?" The lead woman reached out trying to touch me. The next second, she let out a painful scream. I had practically twisted her wrist. "Son of a, beat him up. Get him." Just then, Sophia returned. I shielded her behind me. "I don't hit women. You all should leave now." "He doesn't hit, but I do." Sophia completely dropped her facade and persona, radiating hostility. I stared blankly. It was her, the familiar Sophia, back. I had no doubt Sophia could take all four of them down, but I had to stop her. Her status was different now. She couldn't get into fights. Sophia was stubborn, staring daggers at the four women, determined to get justice. I tugged her hand gently. Sophia, don't be fierce. Sophia instantly froze. Then, as if washed clean by water, all hostility vanished. Even her sharp edges softened. Then, forget it. Sophia, let's run. Sophia grabbed my hand tightly, and we sprinted away through streets and crowds. We ran and ran, my heartbeat pounding in my ears. Thump, thump, thump. The last time I heard this sound, it was also because of this person bringing me youthful palpitations. And now she seemed like that same stubborn girl. We ran all the way to my aunt's house and ducked into the basement. It was empty now, awaiting demolition tomorrow. Even the lights were gone. Only moonlight streamed in. Sophia, Ethan, we spoke at the same time. We decided I'd speak first. Did you used to walk me home every day? Yeah, I had a bad temper back then. I offended people. I worried about you walking alone. Why didn't you tell me then? What was there to tell? She said with a smile. You were going to college. Study hard. Leave everything else to me. I pointed to the carvings on the floor. And these, what do they mean? They mean I like you. I paused for a moment. You never said that when we were 18. Sophia lowered her eyes and spoke slowly, because I didn't know how to say it back then. Sophia's past was somewhat unique. She had parents, but it was like she didn't. Growing up in a cold relationship, no one taught her how to love someone, nor did anyone tell her how to express love. Sophia thought being available whenever called and spending money on me was a confession. When I confessed first, she was actually happy. But because she wasn't used to being loved, not used to intimacy, she appeared passive. Sophia practiced talking to the mirror, but it felt awkward. She couldn't say the words, so she wrote them down instead. She learned from other girls, folded 1,000 paper cranes, writing, I like you, inside each one. She planned to give them to me on my birthday. Unfortunately, that day never came. Later, through acting, experiencing different lives, she finally learned how to express herself. But the person she wanted to tell was already gone. After a moment of silence, I continued asking, what about Ryan? Sophia shook her head. I treated him well because he saved my life. My eyes widened. What? When I was little, my parents didn't care about me. He came to play with me often. Once I had a high fever. He was the first to notice. He cried and fussed, drawing the adults' attention, and only then did they realize I was sick. The doctor said if I had arrived any later, my brain could have been damaged. Mentioning the past, Sophia laughed self-deprecatingly. After that, I promised him I'd treat him like a real brother. Treat him well. All these years, I did see him as a brother. But that summer, there was another hidden reason. Ryan threatened me, saying if I didn't bring him along, he'd go tell my parents and make them completely despise you. My parents always trusted Ryan. If he exaggerated things, it would be very bad for you. Plus, I didn't trust my parents' character. If they took their anger out on you, they might secretly manipulate things so you couldn't even go to college. I realized this when you told me not to provoke him. Yes, Sophia understood which incident I was referring to. When Ryan said you framed him, I didn't believe a single word. I just hoped you wouldn't have any interaction with him, not even speak to him, so you would be safe. Sophia looked somewhat dejected. I didn't expect it to cause such a deep misunderstanding. Ethan, you could have just asked me directly. Recalling the past, I felt a wave of emotion. She didn't know how to love someone, but did I? No, I didn't know either. Repeatedly abandoned by my biological parents, I lost the courage to question. In my world, only studying and working hard would earn rare praise. Only then would I not be abandoned again. So facing Sophia, I'd rather suffer in silence than question her about anything, let alone lose my temper. Not knowing how to love was our shared affliction. Sophia was stubborn, but wasn't I too? I also longed for salvation. The moon was cool like water. Sophia held my hand, not letting go since earlier. But there was one more thing. I clarified to Sophia. Your parents paid for me to go abroad. I guessed. Actually, I could have chosen not to go, but that might have been my only chance to study abroad. I was selfish for once. I understand. Sophia smiled exceptionally gently. Ethan, you're too kind. I wish you were a little more selfish. Don't let the outside world hurt you. I'll prioritize my career in the future, too. No problem. I'll follow you. You're an award-winning actress with a boundless future. Why follow me? So what? Even becoming an actress was because of you. I felt tired and hugged her. Sophia, we only dated for 3 months. Sophia placed a devoted kiss on my forehead, but my love lasts much longer than 3 months. Sophia was all action. The day after clearing up the misunderstanding, she announced it publicly on social media. She even tagged me. 3 months in exchange for a lifetime. The topic trended, nearly crashing the platform. The entire internet was buzzing. I worried Sophia's parents would trouble her again, but my concerns were unfounded. Sophia was 25. Even if her parents disapproved, what could they do? With Sophia's personality, they couldn't interfere at all. Perhaps they couldn't control her even 7 years ago, which is why they targeted me. I just lacked the courage back then. After Sophia went public, another person trended, Ryan. That day, Ryan angrily sought me out. I knew I'd seen you somewhere before. So, you're Ethan? Yeah. So, break up with Sophia immediately. I'm the one with the marriage understanding with her. I opened my mouth wanting to say something, but stopped. Sophia arrived, standing right behind Ryan. Ryan was still provoking. Did you see the online comments? Everyone's calling you the other man, a kept man, interfering in my relationship with Sophia. If you don't want to lose your job, break up with her now and give her back to me. What relationship do you and I have? I don't recall. Sophia spoke suddenly, coldly. Ryan became anxious. Sophia, how could you be fooled by this poor kid again? Watch your mouth. Sophia slammed the table, her voice threatening. Ryan's face darkened. You said you treat me like a brother. Why are you losing your temper at me? I've done my part, Ryan. Brothers shouldn't covet other identities. Otherwise, we can't even be friends. Ryan had never been spoken to like this and became furious. Sophia, are you cursed? I'm holding a press conference. Just you wait. His kept man reputation won't be washed away. Firstly, my marriage understanding with you has no written proof. It was just casual talk between parents, and I've publicly denied it many times. Sophia narrowed her eyes. Secondly, if you dare hold it, don't blame me for being ruthless. Ryan was enraged. But this poor kid is not good enough for you. Sophia suddenly looked at him with a hint of pity. Per this, per that. Ryan, have you ever truly liked someone? Of course I like you. No, you don't like me, Sophia interrupted him. If I weren't from the Kane family, didn't have celebrity parents, if I were just a smoking, fighting troubled girl, would you still like me? Ryan froze as if he'd never considered the question. If on a rainy day you saw me like that, sitting by the road, would you hold an umbrella for me? You wouldn't. You'd just curse me under your breath as scum. You like my status, not me as a person. You can't even accept that I used to be that troubled girl. Sophia pulled me away. When I looked back, Ryan was still standing there, stunned. He seemed to have learned a lesson, deeply impacted. I didn't know if he understood, but a week later, I heard. Ryan's press conference proceeded as scheduled. Sophia couldn't prevent the press conference, but she made many preparations to handle the ensuing crisis. However, the press conference wasn't what we expected. Ryan appeared before the cameras, impeccably dressed. His face looked haggard. Today, I want to make a statement. Sophia and I have no marriage agreement. The room erupted. Everyone came expecting juicy gossip, like the actress cheating or something. Sophia and I grew up together because of our family's business relationship, but she sees me as an older brother, and I only see her as a younger sister. The marriage agreement is just rumors. Neither of us acknowledged it, and our parents just mentioned it casually. It doesn't count. I have never liked Sophia romantically, nor has she liked me. I hope everyone stops spreading false rumors. As for Ethan, Orion paused for 2 beats, then said, seriously, he is Sophia's first love. I judged him by his appearance before, and I apologized to him. Public opinion shifted dramatically. Netizens dug up some of Ryan's past arrogant remarks, sparking widespread discussion. But the upside was that all the preparations Sophia made were unnecessary. I was puzzled. Why did he suddenly change his tune? Sophia grinned. If he didn't change, the two families wouldn't even have business dealings in the future. Sophia was now the most powerful person in her family, with the family company also in her hands. Ryan yielded under the pressure of business cooperation. Another 6 months passed. Sophia's father fell ill and could no longer work hard. Her mother also canceled most of her engagements to stay home and care for him. In contrast, Sophia's career soared. With power firmly in her grasp, the elders could no longer interfere in any of her decisions. An enlightened Sophia seemed like a different person. The more she lacked something before, the more she wanted to make up for it now. Half of her social media posts were about me, and she mentioned me in interviews. I used to be a troubled teenager. It was my boyfriend who pulled me out of the darkness and showed me a glimmer of light. But there were after effects. Whenever she couldn't find me, Sophia panicked, afraid I'd leave again. Occasionally, waking from a nightmare, she'd cling to me, refusing to let go. Ethan. The seemingly cold, award-winning actress in public was actually quite clingy with me. She called my name over and over. It reminded me of those carvings buried in the dust. In the spring of my 27th year, Sophia and I visited our old high school together. Youth is like the seasons, one generation after another. There are always young people, always people facing uncertainty about what to do. Outside our old classroom stood a large sycamore tree. We stood under it, listening to the sounds of reading aloud. I asked Sophia, 7 years, what if I hadn't come back? You would have come back, she replied. So sure, Sophia, on that rainy day, you came back. So I believe this time you would come back too. I was the only person in her life who had ever returned. Now I still am. We stood under the classroom window. Sophia stood on tiptoe and kissed me lightly. Ethan, I love you. In high school, I picked up a troubled girl nobody wanted. Today marks the 10th year since I found her. It's also the first day of our marriage registration. If anyone asks me in the future what the best love letter I ever received was, I will tell them it was the path home after school. It was the night spent together. It was a series of silent carvings.